for day 3, we did a loop from Bancroft up to Eganville, which is just east of Barry's Bay, and back to Bancroft. If you ride an adventure bike, if you ride a standard bike, I would highly recommend checking out the Ride the Highlands website. They have some phenomenal routes if you've never ridden up here before. If you have ridden up here before, I would really recommend just exploring. Use those routes are a great guide. Just go do some exploring. It was phenomenal. That's what we did this time. We were up around Paugh Lake, which I think most ADV riders know about. We found an absolutely awesome road south of Eganville. A few actually. Just amazing lake runs, amazing scenery, just great time. Weather was phenomenal. My wife was quite a good sport regarding one of the adventure roads that we took, which turned out to be a little hairier than we expected. So we definitely had some adventures there. Saw some rapids, saw some Great Lakes, and had a great trip. It was we were pretty tired by the end, though. We did end up cutting off the route a little bit at the end and just heading back to the hotel because it was a tiring day.
So after a bit of breakfast, we left the hotel and headed north up Clear Lake Road. You'll notice on screen, it looks off. The color looks strange. This was filmed in July 2026. The entire northern half of the province was engulfed in forest fires. This is all caused by the smoke. It's actually clear out, but again, the smoke is completely blocking out the sun. It made for an interesting look, but yeah, you could even smell it. So today's ride shook out into about 3 stages. The first stage was Bancroft to Barry's Bay. I had never actually gone really back roads from Bancroft to Barry's Bay before. I really wanted to kind of go up the back end of Kaministiquia Lake, the west side, and around. And that's really kind of how we angled it. We did end up on Highway 28 for a little ways. We wanted to see the lookouts and things like that. There's a lot of stuff to see, even just on Highway 28. And if you're not on an ADV, if you're up here on a touring bike or something like that, Highway 28 is just a fun ride. But we wanted to find some gravel roads and hopefully some lake accesses and things like that. And we were not disappointed. We're heading up here for lunch. Really, though, the actual kind of touring adventure part of the day is going to kick off after lunch, but this was still a beautiful ride. We had a great time heading up. It's amazing how time evaporates, when you're riding. Here's a couple of shots from the overlooking Kaministiquia Lake. And we found this kind of neat access to river narrows just off the highway as well. Just kind of scenic. It was kind of fun getting the bike in here too. But from here we headed back into Barry's Bay. So after a quick lunch, we jumped back on the bike and we headed north. This is Paugh Lake Road, and if you've ridden adventure bikes outside Barry's Bay, this is pretty much the kickoff point. Just a word of caution though, there is some fairly technical roads off of Paugh Lake Road. If you are exploring, just make sure that you've got an exit strategy. There is some pretty hard enduro type routes around here, so just keep that in mind. We're not doing any of that. We're heading out to Round Lake, actually, via Turner's Road. These are all gravel roads, but they're nothing really technical yet. We will be getting into some technical stuff a little bit later. But for now, we were just enjoying, a nice flowy dirt road with a lot of scenery. You're passing lakes every 2 seconds. It's a really nice run. It's really nice to stop too. You can stop and get some really nice photos out here too. I got to imagine this is absolutely amazing in the fall. Well, as we come to the end, and we followed Paugh Lake Road right to the end. Right at the end, you've got about 3 or 4 different choices of roads to take. We're going to be jumping onto Turner's Road and heading towards Round Lake. Not before crossing an absolutely breathtaking bridge, though. It was a great capper to this road. This road was just, it was a lot of fun to ride. If you're up in the area, I'd definitely recommend checking out Paugh Lake Road.
What does that say? I can't read it.
With views like this, we really couldn't just not stop and get some photos and selfies and whatnot for the socials.
Get going first before you start hunting feet up. What? No, he just...
So after Paugh Lake Road, we used Turner's Road as a transition to Round Lake Road. Not really an ADV road, nicely paved, and follows Round Lake. We were heading towards the town of Killaloe. You can see actually the smoke is starting to lift. You can actually see a little bit of blue sky. By later in the afternoon, it actually completely clears up, which was welcomed. And here we're coming up to Foy Provincial Park. I think this is the only point in this area that we actually hit traffic. We rode for what had to be well over an hour, and we didn't see another car. So after Round Lake, we headed into Killaloe and pretty much straight across to Eganville. We went on the south side of Golden Lake. We found this one really cool scenic park that overlooked the Bon Cher River right outside of Eganville. After we stopped here for some video and some photos, we headed directly into Eganville, where we took a little break, grabbed some ice cream, and prepared for the final leg of the trip. The final leg of the trip is where we got ourselves into some real adventure riding. Heading south out of Eganville, we found Lake Clear. A really scenic ride. Regrettably, I wasn't expecting it to be, so I didn't have the camera armed for most of it. This is kind of the tail end. Just an absolutely gorgeous ride. You can see, and the nice thing too is the smoke kind of cleared a little bit. We're actually seeing blue sky and sun. We followed Lake Clear Road right to the end, and from there we got on 512 to 515. Unfortunately, we had a camera malfunction and I wasn't able to get them. It seems like the 500 series roads are they're a lot of fun. Very curvy, great pavement. They're just really fun on a bike. Not a lot of traffic. We followed those through Foymont and down. We were heading towards Palmer Rapids from there. On our way to Palmer Rapids, we picked up Guiney Road. This road was a lot of fun. It was fast, it flowed well. It was kind of technical, some ruts, some sand, whatever. It was a pretty fun ride. With the sun out, everything, the scenery was beautiful. We took this road pretty much all the way into Palmer Rapids. It was a good warm-up for what we were going to encounter after Palmer Rapids. And once again, the cameras are not doing these hills any justice. This hill was steep. A little unnervingly so. There was a few of these. There was a lot of elevation change on this road. It was fun to ride. Definitely, I would recommend if you're out here on Guiney Road, it's probably better to keep your gear maybe one lower than you normally would ride at. Just some of these hills kind of come out of nowhere at you. And still climbing. Our next stop was actually Palmer Rapids. We took a quick stop to get some photos and some video of the rapids themselves. Take a little break. The sun kind of went away again, but still really pretty. And not too far outside of Palmer Rapids, we picked up what was, unbeknownst to us at the time, going to be the crux of the trip. I do put a lot of research into these routes, especially when I'm carrying my wife on the back. I got a, it's a 1200cc bike, it's a 700-pound motorcycle loaded, and I've got my wife on the back, so we're not really heading for, really crazy hard enduro trails. I was expecting this to really just be another dirt road. And I think, again, if I was by myself, no problem. I'd have ripped this faster. It would have been moderate, but with a passenger on the back, this got hairy. The warning signs that this was going to get a little more technical started about here. It was really sandy, and we were starting to pick up a lot of rocks. There's a couple washouts and things like that. Sometimes when it comes to this stuff, I could be an absolute idiot. Like, I'll just keep pushing on. You know, in my brain, it's like, well, we can't turn back. You know, point of no return. I had no idea how long this route was, really. I mean, this is new to me. I mean, I'm following a GPS. I have no idea how long we're on here. But yeah, it started to get a little technical here. We were starting to get outside what my wife was comfortable with as well. But I decided to push on anyway. We started to hit a ton of loose rock, and again, ruts. And once again, this is a hill climb the camera's not doing any justice to. It wasn't here, but actually up there, I kind of got caught off guard by one of the hills. I almost stalled the bike. And you more experienced folks, stalling a bike on a rocky hill is not what you want to do. The trail flowed pretty well. Like, it was fun. And again, if I'd have been on my own, I don't think it would have been really, it would have been a fun ride. I definitely would have taken note of it. But the passenger made this one a little bit hairy, to say the least.
Just hang on. It'll be fine. It's gonna sound, it's gonna be feel rough, but it's not that.
You may notice a few instances here where I start getting kind of slow. We're slowing the bike down. Again, this trail was sand based, and every now and then I'd hit these patches of sand and the back end would just go a little squirrely. So I had to kind of take it a bit easy. Again, with a passenger on the back, you can't, you know, the whole when in doubt, throttle out thing doesn't always work. You don't want to be, you know, your back end's got a lot of weight on it. You don't want to be throwing it around. It's hard to get it back. Again, you can do a surprising amount with a passenger on the back. But yeah, when it comes to sand, you really got to take it easy, especially with that. And I mean that in conjunction with, you know, some loose baby head rocks and things like that. You'll notice a few times here we dip down into the 20 km/h range, which again, on a bike, you know, you want to go, the faster you go, the more stable the bike is.
Bumpy. Hang on.
Right here, we hit some just nasty ruts. I'm going to guess people are coming down here in ATVs and stuff. They do chew the road up. That said, I couldn't imagine a more fun trail on an ATV or side-by-side or some kind of off-road vehicle. Even a pickup truck, a 4x4. It'd be a ball down here. If you're going to do this with a passenger, make sure it's somebody who is absolutely used to your stupidity and has grown to be okay with it. She was pretty outside her comfort zone at this point, but she's a trooper. I didn't stop. She was okay with it, and we kept going. It was a challenge, but it started to get, this is where it started to get a little more technical. It started to get a lot more trail-like than road-like. And this is where we just about went down. Once again, thanks to the camera, this does not look like much of a hill, but I was in the wrong gear. I was trying to keep the bike upright. I should have drop shifted, but I was scared of breaking out in the sand. I managed to get it up there. Thank you to Yamaha for creating a very torquey motorcycle. Otherwise, I think we'd have been in bigger trouble. And as we come to the end of Moccasin Lake Road, we actually had a couple other routes planned. I really wanted to see Iron Bridge Road. It's where they race the rally every year up here. The reality is, after this, we were both just exhausted, and we ended up going back to the hotel. And that really ends the trip. We did a day 4. I'm gonna put a bonus video up at day 4. It's just gonna be a short. It was pretty much commuting back. I hope you enjoyed this video series. We had a great time up there. I'd highly recommend a trip. Aurelia, Bancroft, Barry's Bay, the Bon Cher Valley. Just a great ride. I highly recommend it. I will sign off here. Hope you guys have a great one. Stay safe on the roads. If you're so inclined, we'd love your subscription. If you want to leave a comment, please do. And we'll see you in the next video.